It's time for another episode of Maker Pipe Monday. If you don't know what this is, we basically go back and look at builds that have been shared recently, and we talk about unique features and hacks and all kinds of creative things within them. This week, we're going to be checking out a walkway shade, an entryway awning, a compost tumbler, a high tunnel frame, an outdoor projector screen frame, and adjustable solar panel mounts. All kinds of awesome builds. Let's jump right in and check them out. This first one is a walkway shade, and this comes from Peter. This is really cool. And basically, you can see here, I think he's got some kind of, I don't know what this is exactly, but it's thicker than EMT conduit, so I don't think it's an EMT conduit pole, but it looks like there's some kind of column or piece of wood on each end of this build. And it looks like from there, he added EMT conduit to this, maybe mounted it. And I'm not sure, maybe there's a threaded pipe insert in the EMT, and then a bolt comes in from the other side, and that's how it's secured. Not entirely sure. I don't really get any details on that. But we can see the rest of the frame, and basically it just has 3/4 inch EMT conduit verticals that go all the way down. And you can see here, he's got a few of those spaced apart. And then he's using, it looks like, various connectors here. We can see the 4-way connector here, which basically allows you to have, a piece of conduit coming in from this side, going out the other side, one in the middle, and then, of course, the vertical that runs all the way through it. We can see here he's using T connectors. We can see, I think there's another 4-way connector, of course, and then a T connector, and then we can see 180-degree connectors down here, which are very similar to the 4-way, except it doesn't have the pipe coming out of the front. It's only got the pipe coming out of each side, and then, of course, the vertical that runs through the middle there. So he's got those, and then basically just EMT conduit creating this big rectangle here, and then with some cross bracing with the T connectors and various connectors that we just looked at. Which is really cool and nice and simple frame. He said that his neighbors, their olive tree was basically dropping olives on their walkway, and that was really annoying. So they wanted to basically, keep that from happening and also just add some shade to this walkway. Then we can see he's got sunshade panels secured. Actually, I think it's one big sunshade that kind of sits on top and goes all the way down the sides. And we can see, looks like that's secured with Velcro straps, and I think even some like paracord or elastic cord there as well. But really cool, nice and simple frame, just some verticals and then cross bracing, just making this big rectangle, and then with sunshades on top and going down the side. So really cool. Thanks so much for sharing this. I love seeing it. Next up is this entryway awning. This comes from Roger. This is really cool. Basically, it just has 2 verticals that start at the base down here. They're secured to this little patio area with a maker pipe conduit flange, and then, of course, 4 bolts bolting that into the wood there, and then the vertical going up. This is made with 3/4 inch EMT conduit as well. Of course, the same thing on the other side here, going up to this frame that he made here. And basically, it just has this ridge pole going from the front to the back. And then he used 135-degree connectors, which we'll look at another photo in a moment, but 135-degree connectors there. And then basically just use T connectors for these pipes that go down, and he grabs on with the T connectors here with all of these poles that go up to the ridge pole, and then the verticals are just attached with T connectors as well. So not that many connectors, but a really great solution for this entryway awning. And here we can see there's a close-up of the 135-degree connectors at the top in the ridge pole here, just to basically create that sloped roof so the rain will glide off of it, which is really awesome. Then we can see he's using 2-hole straps to secure the metal panels, and the way he's doing that, I think, is really smart, something we haven't really seen before that I know of, and I think it's a really great solution for this kind of thing. In the past, I've recommended just using self-drilling screws through metal panels into the EMT conduit, but you can see here that he actually used pop rivets going through the holes in the 2-hole straps there, and that's securing the metal panels. I think that's really smart and a really great way to secure metal panels. And using the self-drilling screws, you kind of have to guess. It's kind of hard to line up where the conduit is exactly underneath the panel. But this, you can use the 2-hole strap, just use the hole as kind of a guide to drill a hole in the metal panel, and then I would come in from the top side and add in the pop rivets, and basically just kind of hold that in place there. And I think these are made to be weather tight, which is really cool. And that's another thing that might be concerning if you add self-tapping screws. They're not really weather tight, not the greatest solution. So this is really awesome. Thanks so much, Roger, for sharing this. We love seeing it. Next up is a really creative build. This comes from Paul. This is a compost tumbler, and it's really cool. We can see, here's a good shot of the framework. Basically, starting down here on the back wall here, he's got adjustable angle flanges that these pieces of conduit attach to, these angled pieces. And then to complete that angle and grab onto this upper section, there's adjustable angle connectors back there that grab onto those angled pieces of conduit. And then this crossbar in the front here is made and attached with T connectors there. And then end caps in the end of the conduit there. And then this frame is just basically, we'll see the rectangle goes back to the wall, and there's flanges securing the framework up there as well. And then we can see, I'll just start over here, we can see that he is using a really cool solution for the casters, which allow this to actually become the tumbler part of it. So you can see here he's using U-bolts to basically go around the conduit and then up through these caster plates, and then he's just got the nuts holding them in place there, and he's got those mounted and spaced apart specifically so this barrel that he is using for the compost can sit and kind of rest on those. And then of course we can see the barrel here where he cut out a panel, added some hinges, added a handle so he can access the compost inside, take it out or put more in, whatever. And he's got a piece of wood on the outside here with maker pipe flanges holding on this DIY handle that he made with a couple of T connectors and some EMT conduit, and he can kind of grab on that and rotate this around using the casters. And just a really creative build, a really awesome project, and compost tumbler, really great ideas. Thanks so much, Paul, for sharing this. I love seeing it. Next up is this high tunnel frame, and this also comes from Roger. He's been busy with his conduit and maker pipe projects. Basically, there is 5 verticals on each side that just go up from the ground all the way up, of course, and we can see here, and then of course it's mirrored on the other side, so I won't draw completely on this, but basically just got 5 verticals. And he said that he pounded 3/4 inch rebar into the ground down here underneath each vertical. And basically you just use 3/4 inch rebar, and then you can slide 3/4 inch EMT conduit over that. And it provides a pretty good base for builds outside. Another great idea, which is something that Roger did, is adding a cross support at the very bottom between these verticals. That's really key in projects like this that are outside, that are large. And he just used T connectors and 180-degree connectors to attach those cross braces between them. And then he kind of mirrored the same design up here using the same connectors and the same kind of design. And then basically he just has the conduit going up and bent in the corners, and then those go up, and he's using off-the-shelf electrical couplings to join these uprights and bent corners to the top ridge pole and this whole top section up here. And he said he didn't use connectors up here because he wanted the plastic to sit up there and not get caught on anything and be able to kind of slide over it. So he just bent this peak, and then the conduit underneath, he has holes drilled and added a bolt through the ridge pole and through the peak of the roof. And I think he said he used bolts, maybe self-drilling screws, not entirely sure, but that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. And you could customize this if you wanted to build something similar, make this extremely small. If you wanted a kind of a smaller footprint in your backyard for a greenhouse, this one looks to be pretty large, and just a really great idea, really great design that you can get some inspiration from. So thanks so much, Roger, for sharing this. Love seeing it. Next up is a really simple project. This is an outdoor projector screen frame. It looks like they're watching a movie, which is really cool, taking advantage of it. Nice summer activity, get the whole family outside and watch a movie. But really simple. It's just the 2 verticals, one on each side, that go up, and we can see here T connectors. Just use 4 of those to basically build this rectangle that goes from one side to the other, and just pulls the projector screen tight, and we don't really see exactly how this is stabilized down here. But if I had to guess, I would say it goes down and then it just has some legs at the bottom. And I think he's using this speaker as kind of a weight to hold down and stabilize the build. You know, this isn't that big of a project, so it probably doesn't require that much stability. But I'm sure there's something down there to kind of keep it vertical and upright so it doesn't fall over while you're watching the movie. But really cool, nice and simple. You know, you just pull your projector screen tight, and I imagine he's using ball bungees. Those really work well if you've got a material like a sunshade or projector screen frame, whatever it might be. If they have grommets, those ball bungees are a really great solution for that. But really cool, nice and simple project, Greg. Thanks so much for sharing this. I love seeing it. Last but not least are these adjustable solar panel frames, and these come from David. Really fantastic solution here. Here we can see everything put together, everything's mounted and in place, and basically he just has these wooden boards that run from the front to the back, as you can see there. And then he created these blocks where it's basically just this block that has a cutout here, so the EMT conduit leg that runs to the back can rest in that one, or you can move it to this one and adjust the height and the angle of the solar panel, which is really extremely useful when you're building frames like this. But besides that, it's a pretty standard frame. You know, it's just a rectangle with the two horizontals, one at the bottom, one at the top, and then he's using T-connectors to basically add these supports from the top to the bottom. And then he's using, it looks like, I think we can see in the other picture, he's using adjustable angle connectors here, as you can see. And then that has the leg that goes down, and that's what rests in the notch that's cut out there for the different angles. And then it looks like another crossbar using maker pipe T connectors to kind of support that in the back. And really simple. It's not that complicated. We can go back to this other photo and we can kind of see how he mounts the solar panels. Looks like he's using some kind of channel, or maybe like T slot. Not entirely sure what this is. I think this is made specifically for solar panels. But he's got this secured to the frame here, and it goes all the way across. He's got that, and then he's got these brackets down here that are secured to the conduit, and those are what the solar panels mount to. A really cool, adjustable solar panel mounts. Really awesome build. Thanks, everybody, for posting your projects. As always, these will be linked down below if you want to check any of them out in more detail. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll see you in the next one.